Hello dear friends. Today we are going to dedicate this entire episode to discussing the qualities of yoga. Yoga is indeed a truly unique teaching in all aspects. It also grants mystical abilities, not just health. Thanks to it, the quality of intellect improves. Furthermore, the quality of self-awareness within dreams significantly enhances, along with the quality of one's perception of the world. Moreover, undesirable aspects like irritability or any inner aggression potentially originating from childhood experiences or past hidden grievances are thoroughly eradicated from your being. To genuinely achieve significant results on the path of yoga, it is essential to first set a clear and defined goal for yourself. From the very beginning, we must always know what we are striving for. It is certainly possible to engage in Hatha Yoga solely for the purpose of body healing. However, it's worth noting that even with this goal, if there is a lack of sufficient motivation, Hatha Yoga might not even yield outcomes such as the healing of diseases. Our entire being must be directed towards a specific goal. Should we wish to heal ourselves, we must make a concentrated effort towards that healing. If our aim is to elevate our intellectual capacity, we must direct our efforts there. If we want to realize siddhis, we must set a goal for ourselves. If we desire to become a yoga master, we must affirm, "I will be a yoga master," and strive for it each day. If we desire to attain the quality of unity with spiritual beings, with God, with the entire universe, then we absolutely must establish that objective for ourselves. If we lack a clear goal, then yoga is simply like any other scientific discipline that goes unused for its intended purpose. Quite recently, I had the distinct opportunity to engage in conversation with a good friend of mine, and he truly is a remarkably interesting individual. He consciously chooses to lead a vegetarian lifestyle. He truly has no shortcomings. He doesn't smoke, doesn't drink, nor does he involve himself in foolish activities, but at the same time, he lacks certain qualities. This means I always enjoy providing the illustration that there exist individuals who have fully departed from their former existence, when they indulged in smoking, drinking, and drug use, would wreak havoc and lead a dissolute life in countless ways, but simultaneously, they have not yet cultivated their spiritual qualities or truly commenced upon the path of development. This intermediate borderline state was keenly and vividly evident in my friend, standing out quite sharply. I observed him, and it left me quite astonished. And certainly, it was perfectly clear to me that he lacked any specific objective or aim. Yes, he practices yoga and it offers him numerous and diverse advantages. However, at the very same time, he is unwilling to establish a clear objective for himself to progress further. And at some point, deeply moved by compassion, I decided I needed to offer him some assistance. But this feeling was not manifested from the position of intellect. I didn't think, well, maybe I should devote more attention to him. But deep inside, at the level of the Anahata chakra, the heart center, such a strong desire arose within me. I genuinely felt an overwhelming urge to literally show him something truly extraordinary. And numerous friends reaching out to me often remark, "Vairagya, you could easily appear in a dream, perhaps impart some wisdom, give a mantra, or show us something captivating and such." Indeed, such remarkable abilities do exist, including the unique quality of being able to enter into the dreams of other individuals or even their astral world. And by the way, today's vision will describe the possibility of entering the astral world, the astral body of another person. Regrettably, my dear friends, the vast majority of us are simply not prepared to embrace such a perception. Among most individuals, our minds are quite unrefined and not pure. So, how do you determine if the mind is impure? Analyze your thoughts. These might be filled with irritability, negative aspects, anger, envy, excessive pride, self-admiration, and so forth. Indeed, we are often overwhelmed by these very emotions. They indicate the presence of self-centeredness, pride, and an excessive dependence on gratifying one's own desires and feelings. Individuals in such a condition are incapable of growth. They remain prisoners of their ego. And they can't get any further than the ego, no matter how much yoga they practice. And on the path of yoga, of course, there are certain qualities you need to follow so that we can actually develop and not just stand still. It is these very qualities that enable us, among other things, to become fully aware of our astral body, which is precisely where the phenomenon of contact at the level of dream yoga actually occurs. Yes, to truly interact within the dream world, you must develop awareness of your astral body, learn to fully command it, and subsequently control reality itself through the dimension of dreams. A friend of mine once recounted some truly extraordinary abilities that arose within him while in a dream state. He initially brought his dream to a halt and it became motionless. Following that, he rewound the dream and paused to carefully observe. to meticulously analyze the unfolding events. Then he fast-forwarded it once more, and after that, he literally started to control the events unfolding within that dream. This is the ability of managing reality, a truly beneficial quality that is certainly worth pursuing, striving for, and utilizing in your self-development. Having delved deeply into the dream state, he managed to control the dream in such a specific way that it actually not only developed forward, right? I mean into the future, but he also controlled the dream, even rewinding it backwards, actively manipulating it. If you manifest this quality within your dream state, it signifies your ability to alter the trajectory of events in your personal life. Let's say, in the dream state, you perceive negative events that are destined to manifest in 6 months or even a year from now. A subscriber once wrote to me, what's the point of dream yoga anyway? Why this? Why these visions? Why even bother knowing the future? But that's the kind of thing someone deeply infatuated with their own pride and solely preoccupied with their own inner state would utter. When you have children and you see the fate of your children, believe me, each of them has their own problems. Is there truly a mother anywhere who would not wish to alter her child's destiny and further enhance the future of her descendants? And all of this is connected to managing reality. This is but one application of these remarkable abilities, and countless others exist. Every video I record doesn't solely describe just some of my personal qualities. I want you to have faith in yourselves. I want you to one day truly comprehend the incredible potential you inherently possess. Yes, due to the power of karma, some might have to toil for 30-40 years, but anyone can develop these qualities. And it is not difficult at all. It is not at all complicated, as some yoga instructors or teachers suggest, that certain mystical abilities take years, decades, even centuries to develop. That Kundalini awakens over 7, 8, 10 lifetimes and so on. No, actually, all of this can be achieved much more easily. The only thing, of course, is you need to know how to do it. There are very subtle moments that few people know about. Even many current teachers, in fact, don't say a lot, not because they don't want to, but because they themselves don't know it. They have uncovered some element within themselves and begin to share knowledge from the perspective of those qualities. And there are thousands of such qualities. We are simply infinite universes within. We are the greatest creations. In reality, we possess many abilities, many qualities. I will share a vision. At some point, filled with compassion, I saw myself and him together in one vision. We were in the same astral dimension. I was looking at him, and I understood that spiritually we resonated with each other very strongly. And it was precisely because he was in a state of the deepest trust and faith that I found it incredibly easy and straightforward to assist him with his needs. He was in fact remarkably receptive and sensitive to all the advice, counsel and guidance that I provided to him within the astral realm. And through my intention, I created a capsule resembling a spaceship in which we subsequently journeyed through the universe, traversing hundreds of thousands of galaxies, and we flew incredibly far. I really wanted to show him an extraordinary galaxy that no one on our planet actually knows about, yet it truly does exist. It is so far away from us that it's basically impossible to see. The universe is infinite. What we know about the universe is essentially nothing. Our scientists believe they possess the greatest knowledge, but by the standards of the universe, their knowledge is equivalent to zero. We were flying in this capsule. What exactly was its purpose? Despite moving in an astral body, not a physical one, each universe, each world, inherently carries its own distinct energies. Most often, they primarily influence the human structure itself. And so, to avoid causing any harm to my companion, we journeyed within a capsule. I had to create a capsule, a spaceship, so that as my comrade and I traveled within it, he would remain safe from the powerful influence of the galaxies and thousands of stars rushing past us. However, our capsule had no engine at all. I meticulously controlled this capsule solely by my inner intention. It was equipped with numerous portholes and they were exceptionally large, likely measuring around 2 to 2.5 meters in width. And these portholes were situated all around the circumference of this spacecraft, meaning they were above, below, to the right, to the left, and also directly behind us. You could look back to see where we'd been, you could look forward, you could look up, and you could look down. As we zoomed past the galaxies, I was showing him saying, "Look, this is a specific star in this particular galaxy, right? We were hurtling so incredibly close to the stars that from our perspective they appeared to be about the same size as the viewing port itself. We were even able to clearly see the massive solar flares exploding on the surfaces of distant stars and marvel at how these immense nuclear energy explosions spectacularly radiated brilliant light into the vast surrounding cosmos. It was truly astounding. Every single planet had its own distinct luminosity and its own unique biological life forms. My comrade, he truly, and I mean literally from his very heart, could feel just how incredibly beautiful these magnificent worlds truly were. It was breathtakingly beautiful. We also witnessed the spiritual structure and perceived the energies linked to the deities, the very patrons of these galaxies too. We were moving incredibly fast. At a considerable distance from our universe, we started to decelerate, and then, a good ways from a specific galaxy, I gestured toward it and asked, "Look, what do you perceive?" Directly in front of us, a truly vast galaxy became visible. So, it had its own sun, but it wasn't a very bright one. Alongside the yellow light there were other hues present, intertwined with blue light and a soft light blue luminescence. It displayed a whole vibrant spectrum of radiance. Around the central star there were certain planets orbiting. There were several dozen of them, approximately 50 in total, and they revolved around that particular star at a very high speed. The planets were observed orbiting within an extremely thin, yet visibly distinct gas, even from a vast distance. This gas possessed a very subtle ethereal luminosity, emitting a soft blue light. Surprisingly, there were only a handful of stars visible, and their soft, distant glow through the portholes was almost imperceptible. It was barely noticeable. We were situated in a space of absolute blackness. Truly, this is what deep space resembles. This galaxy, with its planets and its star revolving, truly appeared like a magnificent jewel, inherently possessing its own radiant luminosity. It was so incredibly beautiful. At one point it even crossed my mind that I don't visit this place very frequently, but I always remember this specific galaxy and tend to return to it periodically. This means I've visited here in past incarnations as well. Just imagine truly a gem, blue sapphires, you know those, right? Stones that possess exactly that blue, gently blue, radiant light. And just like on our planet where tiny stones are valued, imagine there, an entire galaxy. You look at it and you revel in this endless motion, these beauties, these radiances. It truly was very beautiful. And as I was showing him this universe, I said to him, "Do you see all these beauties that you can observe? Do you understand how magnificent the universe is, and how beautiful it is in its profound charm? And all of this you can experience and become aware of thanks to the qualities of yoga. By continuing your spiritual path of development, perfecting your body, perfecting your consciousness, your feelings, your energies, you can experience these worlds and hundreds of billions of other worlds as well." And now perhaps it is worth emphasizing that everything my friend and I saw can actually be seen by all of us, dear friends, provided there is spiritual development. Once I was watching a program related to space flights, and I don't even remember which cosmonaut said it, but he said that when he first saw the planet through the porthole, he began to relate to our planet in a completely different way. When looking down from that incredible height, there are no defined national borders or separate countries, no complex systems of government, and absolutely no visible economic, political, or religious disagreements that often divide us. We are all part of a single whole, we are all inhabitants of this planet. Looking down from way up there, it looks remarkably small, deeply vulnerable. You could even say tiny and fragile. Indeed, when you witness our material world from the vast perspective of another world, it fundamentally and completely transforms your entire perception of existence. We just stood there, completely mesmerized. So dear friends, set a clear goal for yourselves. Until next time.